What's up, y'all? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And wanted to make an updated video here on the best early to mid game characters in Marvel Strike Force. We usually make this video every 2 patches or so. The last one that we did was version 6.1, which corresponded with patch 6.1. And in today's video, we're going to be calling it version 6.3 to correspond with patch 6.3 here. I do want to apologize right out of the gate. My camera's off. Also, my mic probably doesn't sound as good right now. I recently caught COVID. Some of you guys know this already. I'm currently on quarantine right now with my daughter, my oldest daughter, so you're probably going to hear some noise in the background as well as she's watching jiu-jitsu. But yeah, I'm just trying to, we're trying to make this video here with my laptop, so not as technically, I guess, where we used to be, but that's okay. We're making the best of the situation, and we're doing fine for the most part, other than some minor symptoms here. So thank you for all the support for those who've already reached out already. But yeah, need to get back to work here, so just wanted to make this video to kind of just keep things flowing and keep things updated. As we're kind of quarantined and isolated away from the rest of the family here. But yeah, the way that I go about this list usually is that I talk about the idea here is that I want to talk about free-to-play characters that you can get early enough in the game that will provide you value early, but then also as well be able to provide you some value as you sort of get to the late game stages as well. Now, nothing is ever always set in stone. Things change on a day-by-day basis. So that is the reason why I usually start off with this list talking about new additions. Then I also recap some of the characters that were already there before. And then I'll also talk about characters that I'm removing off the list, right? So whatever was on 6.1 or previous versions, there's usually characters that I take off of the list because their value may have gone down. But I'll also even talk about characters that were previously on the list before, where I'll talk about where their value stands currently right now. So usually try to go through this as best as I possibly can. Hopefully this is going to be helpful content for you here. So let's actually just not. Oh, we will talk about honorable mentions too. So characters that are not free to play accessible. But maybe if you're willing to spend money, or maybe if you get lucky with those characters that you can also invest into as well. We will also talk about that on this list too. But let's actually dive into the first the first thing for me here. Oh, didn't change my screen. The first let's dive into the list here. The first new additions that I wanted to talk about are the Bionic Avengers. So although this is not going to be talking about the full Bionic Avenger team, we're only going to be talking about Iron Man and Vision. It's worth mentioning that this Bionic Avengers team is going to be the eventual tech grade team. So even though you're early in the game or mid game, you're probably not going to be using Bionic Avengers out of the gate right now, you will eventually use it for tech grade, so you're definitely going to want to invest into this team. They're also going to be a team that you can use as well to unlock the legendary Death Horseman, which is going to be after the War Scourge, probably a couple months from now. So just something to think about as you move forward here, that you are probably going to want to invest into this team, right? Let's talk about the 2 characters that are going to be added here. So Iron Man. So Iron Man actually is in a very unique place. He can actually be used for 2 legendary unlocks because he has the Wave 1 Avenger tag. And the next legendary Scourge event that's going to happen is going to be for the War Scourge, which is going to be Red Hulk. And Wave 1 Avengers can be used for that legendary unlock. So Iron Man actually can be used for 2 legendary unlocks, not just for Death a couple months from now, but also Red Hulk, which I think makes him a high value character, I think, to invest into here. Technically, he is a legendary, so you will need 3 shield characters at 3 stars in order to be able to unlock him, but this is not challenging to do here. If you're just starting out the game, some of those characters you actually get fairly early and easily, right? So Captain America is one that comes to mind. That's a login calendar, so most players probably already have him at 3 stars. Black Widow, if you just started out, you get her in the Strike Pass, I believe, just to start out. Hawkeye also in the Strike Pass. So those are 3 characters right there. Shield Medic, you get from kind of just starting to play the game. Now, you will need to get them to 3 stars, but I think some of those characters you kind of will be able to get to 3 stars fairly easily, and then be able to unlock Iron Man and then start being able to use him, which I think, of course, would then make him a viable character to be able to use early enough in some of the hero content, right? I think raids, that's where he's going to stand out. It's going to be a good place that you can use Iron Man as well. As I mentioned, he will have some of the early synergy with Wave 1 Avenger characters. Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Hulk, who you can get from your daily logins. Not daily logins, but you can get from achievements, or who also will be able, who's also a character I'm going to mention on this list as well. The ISO campaign. Once you get to the ISO campaign, but you will need global characters. Those are some quick early global characters that you can get Iron Man along with the other Wave 1 Avenger characters. So therefore, it makes sense that this team, these characters, this character would be a part of an early option for your best early and mid game there as well. And then Vision, obviously being a Bionic Avenger, being able to get that rework makes him a viable option as well. Vision has 2 nodes to farm. Nothing to do with this list. I just wanted to say why. Why is this the case? But yeah, early enough character. I said early enough we can use it for some hero stuff. This is actually incorrect. Vision is in the Nexus campaign from what I remember, and then also in the Mystic campaign. So probably a little bit further on from you being done with your hero campaign stuff. But still a character that once you do get him, that you can use him for some other stuff like raids with Iron Man. You can use him with some other tech characters. I'm pretty sure you can find some plug and play options for him as well. He has an ability block, a dispel with his ultimate, can give offense down to an enemy character with his basic, right? Can give defense up to other tech characters. So I think a good character as well to add to this list. I put Wave 1 Avengers here, ... kinda. I'm being a little facetious here. Yes, Wave 1 Avengers, you actually can find some value for them. I think Wave 1 Avengers have always been a good early enough starter team. I just always said that overall, that team, you want to put them on a cap, a level cap and a gear cap. Usually I would say no higher than level 16 and gear tier 10. Obviously now that will change with characters like Iron Man and Hulk. You're going to want to build them up much higher than that, right? So but yeah, Wave 1 Avengers they're definitely on this list, I think, in a lot of ways, but mainly I wanted to talk about Hulk, right? Hulk is getting a rework. He's going to be a part of the Legendary Gamma team. It's a good rework. I think he'll be stronger when he's with his Gamma team for sure. Easy way is for you to be able to get some shards for Hulk here. You get it for the daily achievements. Makes sense to invest into him. You can get some high value out of him here, I think, by using him in some of the Scourge content as well. For earlier players, let's be real, right? You're probably not going to get hero Asgardians. You're probably not going to be able to get all those characters, right? And then be able to build them up. So use your Wave 1 Avengers to get through some of the Scourge content. As you could progress throughout your roster, then you can start putting higher investment into maybe hero Asgardians as you start to unlock some of those characters later on. We don't even know yet. Maybe hero Asgardians aren't the best team, for the event. We're going to have to see, take a look and see what other CCs do here. Information that we can provide to give you more insight onto whether or not hero Asgardians are even good. But Wave 1 Avengers, you have Iron Man, you have Hulk. I would say definitely invest into them. See what value they can bring for you. You're going to need to have high investment into them later on in the future anyways. Might as well use them here. So that's the reason why Hulk is on this list for me, and I put Wave 1 Avengers here. She-Hulk. Honestly, yeah, she's a part of the Gamma team. I don't really feel like a ton of value as a plug and play character at all, but like I put here, just better long-term investment, right? Going to be a part of the Legendary Gamma team. You're going to have to invest into your Gamma team for the eventual sagas. You gotta invest. You're going to have to invest into her anyways. You might as well pump resources into her, pump some stuff into her once you get her. Maybe not out of the gate, but not a bad character to invest into from a long-term perspective. Maybe you wait off on doing it right out of the gate per se, but you kind of get the idea why she's on this list, right? Scarlet Spider, I put big maybe on this one. I'm not a big fan of War Stores. War Store, I said fans. War Store farms, I'm not really a big fan of War Store farms yet. I think that those are really challenging and tough for early players. Once you get a little bit more mid-game, sure, it's a little bit easier. Scarlet Spider, though, is probably going to be one of your preferred characters from the War Store alongside Maria Hill. Those are really the only two characters. Oh, long shots there, right? Long shot, Maria Hill, Scarlet Spider. I think if I were to lean in any sort of direction, I would probably put Scarlet Spider first, just because of the Pestilence Scourge event with Morgan Le Fay. Then probably go Maria Hill because of Omega Red, who's an amazing character. And then, of course, maybe I'll consider Long Shot for Infinity Watch, for Adam Warlock, for the Infinity Watch team. That's probably the only direction I would go in, though. I would say probably Scarlet Spider is probably your number one option there. And you can also use them with the other Web Warrior characters too. So I guess from that perspective, yeah, Scarlet Spider does make this list as a new addition. Now let's recast some of the older characters that were already on here. Young Avengers, mainly talked about Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel. Can use them for some of some of the early content here as well. The Hero Brawler synergy is pretty good. Block Party. These are characters that you can also use as well for Famine Scourge. Now, the other characters that are not farmable, Kate Bishop, Echo, they're not on this list. I'm just hoping that at some point in time they become farmable because it would make sense. But mainly Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel here. And of course, yeah, America Chavez too is an okay character to probably use on this team. But once they're a full team, they're really strong. Pretty powerful team. I'll definitely still recommend them as early options as well. Wakandans were already on this list. Shuri, I think, and the team are taking a little bit of a hit. And Cosmic Crucible, Shuri, I mean, the Wakandans aren't doing that great. Also, I wouldn't invest into Wakandans for Cosmic Crucible. You're doing this for Chaos Theory. You're doing Killmonger for the use in the other 3 Flash events. You know, like also maybe even Gamma Raids, right? Shuri is a great individual character, but I think now with this Tech Ray team coming out that she's kind of lost a little bit of value. I think she's a nice still plug and play character, but the value has taken a little bit of a hit where that is concerned. Gamora, Nebula, and Phyla-Vell on this list still best, I think, early arena option. That could change if there is Eternals that becomes a little bit more available. You can mix Gamora, Nebula, and Phyla at that point, right? I don't think that you will need them. Infinity Watch are still a good, strong team right now for a lot of endgame players. The problem is that Adam Warlock is sort of tied behind a legendary that is also kind of fallen out of the meta in Jubilee. You have Longshot, Shatterstar, Multiple Man, like those characters that you have to get and farm in order to be able to get Adam Warlock. Now, granted, the Infinity Watch team as an overall whole, I mean, Gamora, Nebula, Phyla are still good individually. They're good early. I don't know if I would recommend going too hard on investment into them later on. I think it's more of a situational early arena sort of meta that can get you through some of the content here, but you're probably going to transition to some other teams a little bit later on once they probably become farmable, like Eternals. Maybe Kestrel becomes a little bit more available, maybe other new characters, whatever, right, that you'll probably be around to get. That may kind of take precedent than these 3 characters. The Spider-Man and Miles, yeah, makes sense, right? Ray team, Ray meta team, also need them for the Pestilence Scourge event. You're going to have Scarlet Spider now more available in the War Store. Yeah, that makes sense. Shang-Chi, great plug-and-play character, still on this list for me. Zemo, his stock is dropping quite a bit here. I used to say he's like your first target in the Raid Store. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think you can, if you get him, you can use him early to mid-game, but I don't think that you have to. I get value out of Zemo, but not the same as I used to when I used to use him in arena. Right now, he's kind of fallen out of the arena meta. He has fallen out of the arena meta. Not the same anymore, in my personal opinion. Longshot, Shatterstar. This is more, like I said, this for me, I added them on this list initially more about planning for level 70 because you do need to get through the Doom campaign, and it's gated behind hero mutant characters. The future, though, here is going to be a limited X-Men because you're going to have to invest into them for sagas. So once some of these characters, limited X-Men characters, become farmable, the Shatterstar and Longshot need is probably going to drop. So just keep that in mind as you sort of kind of move forward here. Cloak, still a value character, although I think stock is probably dropping a little bit here because of the introduction of, my goodness, brain fart right here. Because of the Pestilence team. Jesus, Darkhold, right? So their value is probably not the same as it used to be before, but still a good character there from an early to mid game perspective. Secret Avengers still pretty good. Maria Hill, Sharon, Cap Simmons a little bit later on, but Maria Hill and Sharon I still think provide good long term value. Still think that you probably should invest into them there. Now, who did I remove off of the list? I took off A-Force. I had Captain Marvel and JJ on here before, and they were primarily there due to Scourge. They did not do well in the Scourge event for Fame and for Rogue, so therefore they were removed off this list for me. I just don't feel like there's really enough to invest into them early, or that's going to bring you enough value even long term, so therefore I took them off of this list. I'm still using the team right now, again, using them with Doom and the other characters that are a part of the A-Force team to beat Young Avengers, but from an early to mid-game perspective, I don't find the value there. Yo-Yo, once again, I added her originally because of Scourge. I'm taking her off this list as well because she didn't really do much there for me. I also honorable mentions, as usual: Kestrel, Eternals, Emma, Dagger, Deathpool, Ghost Spider, Spider-Punk, Dr. Voodoo, Morbius, right? Echo, Kate, the legendary Horseman characters, Deathlock. Like, these characters are probably going to be really good solid value for your roster, but obviously these characters aren't farmable. A lot of you being able to get these shards are based on luck. Once they become farmable, they'll probably be added to this list here. Lady Deathstrike can also be a character too. She's not an honorable mention, but she probably should have been mentioned here. Actually, she is kind of an honorable mention because she is a little bit later on in terms of farming. But those are kind of the only characters that I can think about here, and I will probably add to this list. I'm probably missing a few, and I apologize. Like I said, a little bit of a brain fog here, but could be because of my current situation. But hopefully you found this video to be helpful. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out and let me know. We'll continue to add more to this list as we move forward here. But until next time, guys, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.